Awesome. I'm shocked myself. I had no idea something like this was possible. They're that transparent, guys. Next up, we have roll-up mosquito screens, which can be lowered, folded. They're not static. Specifically, we are talking about the incredibly popular and highly anticipated roll-up ones. Hello everyone, my dear friends and valued viewers. We are absolutely thrilled to be continuing with the much-loved and highly engaging format that everyone has come to appreciate and enjoy so very much. Company reviews. Today, Genius, a mosquito screen manufacturer, an Italian company. They've been on the market for 45 years. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. Now I'll show and tell you everything. Let's go. We're at the Genius Company's warehouse and production facility. This is Victor. Victor, welcome. He's the company owner who since 1999 built this system from the ground up. Victor, please tell us about and show us your domain.
Here, in this case, we're partially on the warehouse and production area. This is our main area where we store the profiles used to make our mosquito screen systems. We have many profiles, as we import about 12 to 15 mosquito screen systems from Italy. Since we are the only company in Russia working with the Genius Group, we must always keep profiles in stock for the season. We operate nationwide. Plus, we have partners in Kazakhstan and Belarus, and clients and dealers can see for themselves. The profiles for structures are available now, meaning you don't have to wait for something to arrive in a month. Everything is here.
So if you order several systems, a large volume, everything will be in stock.
For the season, a week, 2 weeks, and you
maintain, so to speak, a rolling stock of absolutely all models that are in demand.
That's right, because only in this case guarantee a fast response and quick production. Greenhouse systems. They have a short usage period, averaging about half a year, roughly from late March/early April to late September/mid-October. If we ordered profiles from Italy, arrival would take 1.5 to 2 months per season. The last pandemic showed that this is up to 3 months of supply. Accordingly, we could lose most of the season. We can't afford it.
Is there a lot of money here? Frozen.
We won't tell you the numbers. Quite a lot.
Guys, now let's discuss the canvases. I've got a whole stack of samples here. Victor will tell us where each one is used, because honestly, I don't understand the difference between them at all. I don't see any. Victor, go ahead and tell us.
All right, let's do it. The most standard canvases in our range, what you could call a default standard, are fiberglass. This standard canvas, made in the USA by Pfeiffer's, is also used by the Genius Group of companies as their standard. In addition to this kind of canvas, we also have different canvases. For example, when the goal is to have more transparency, because, strangely enough, clients sometimes want things that are mutually exclusive. They want a better view, but at the same time, they don't want mosquitoes getting in okay. We have several options to solve this.
transparency, visibility of the window, better visibility of the canvas.
The most transparent canvas we have is Polyhue. It's Japanese and comes in either gray or black. When comparing a canvas to the Japanese Polyhue canvas, we notice in samples that the fiber thickness is the same. The cell size in Polyhue is smaller than in fiberglass, and the standard.
But with thicker fibers and larger cells. But this Polyview, the Japanese one, has thin and small cells, which makes it more transparent. Listen, so why specifically the USA? I mean, is it really such a complicated product that it can't be made in Russia or?
No, not a single one.
There isn't a single sheet made in Russia at all.
Well, there is. One company in tour makes something, but it's for the really complex stuff.
It's not produced here at all.
Honestly, I don't know. I've never been to a factory that actually produces the sheets themselves.
Is the expensive part in the system sheet or profile?
This sheet? But it's quite expensive. That's the basic one, but that's how it is. And how much more expensive is this Japanese one?
In percentage terms?
Percentage-wise, well, it probably goes up to 100% more. We're talking only about the sheet itself, not the finished product.
So it's almost twice as expensive.
Yes, absolutely. I have fully comprehended and understood the information you have just conveyed to me. I can confirm that I have successfully grasped the entirety of the message and its implications.
Guys, to make things clearer for you, we have these large format samples so you can really see. The sheet, so you can better see where the Japanese one is better and where the standard ones are. Now we'll show you. I'll step behind. This is the Japanese one. See how well you can see me. And this is the standard sheet, and you can see the difference, right? You can see me much better than the person behind the standard sheet. They even put little bird stickers on it, as I understand, right, Victor? They stick birds on purpose. Victor explained to me that it's so people don't walk into it, because honestly, when I look at it, especially from a distance, you really can't see it. It just kind of blends in with the surroundings.
It's small, but you don't notice it.
But it's cool. I genuinely like the effect. I've decided I'm going to sell this. Of course, it's about this thing. But even through this, it's harder to see the inside, outside, and inside. Right here it is.
Pan art, a canvas that is used in any. We may not be able to do this with the balcony company.
We're addressed. There is easy.
Which?
Awesome. I'm just really shocked. I didn't know that something like this could be transparent. This is what I understand. I understand standard the most. A simple mosquito net system.
Yeah, it's called Picanet here. And what's special about it, let's say? The feature is that it uses internal corners. So, you never see any exposed plastic or any other colored corner anywhere.
At the same time, the corners are pressed in, yes. And the crimping is done with a special press and scissors, kind of, on a few of these rods. Alright, here the profile wall is thick. How thick is it? Yes.
Unlike what's common on the market, the profile thickness is 1 millimeter, meaning the system is quite stable in terms of strength. And in cheap
systems, what's the thickness?
In cheap ones, it's 0.5 to 0.6. In the pursuit of lower prices for higher sales volume, companies offering the simplest solutions keep making the profile thinner to minimize costs. But it's really
noticeably different, because usually the profile ends up being twice as thick as in regular Mosquito systems. And it's really rigid, very rigid, even now, as I try to bend it. It absolutely holds its rigidity, which is cool, because our standard mosquito net just flops around like a wet noodle and falls apart. That's right, and it doesn't last long. This is awesome. Why am I so interested? Because when it comes to aluminum windows in private homes or fancy residences, people pay millions for a window and don't want to skimp on the mosquito net. They want quality solutions. This is the standard mosquito net system. It attaches to the window, and there are two types of mounts. This is the regular one. It goes on top like this.
We screw it in besides the window itself.
At the top and bottom. You see, there are these little pieces, small one at the bottom, big one at the top, and these elements are screwed in with self-tapping screws. It's kind of a standard mount, but by doing this, we're piercing the profile, so we're actually damaging the profile a bit. Let's say, a lot of my clients often asked for a hidden mounting option, specifically so the profile wouldn't get damaged. And Genius has this kind of mounting, unlike many other systems on the market. I want to point that out because I searched a lot for a way to mount a standard mosquito net invisibly and couldn't find one. They have these little things. Victor already told me about them earlier. Basically, these are little things that get screwed in like this. And these things let you clamp the window from the inside. So it fits into the window frame profile, right into this gap, and it kind of locks in place. They end up being internal mounts from the inside. Let's say they can be different depths, and for PVC windows, these are available without any problem at all. But for aluminum windows, it was hard to find, and we did find it, and it's made specifically for that. There's a 5mm ledge, because the aluminum profile is exactly 5mm thick.
Historically, one mount type, copy from Germany, was common. Now, we offer ledges from 5 to 16mm in 2mm increments. So you can order any one depending on. Personally,
I really like everything to be hidden. All my hinges are hidden. Hidden, handles without reducers. That's why. Now I'm telling you for sure, my managers will be selling standard mosquito screens. These ones, and with this kind of hidden mounting, because I think this is just the best, honestly. The profile doesn't get damaged, and you can't see anything there. No visible fasteners.
special jigs position the bracket exactly where needed. This eliminates human error, so you don't accidentally drill left, right, lower, or higher. You drill exactly where required.
So guys, besides the standard window mosquito screens, there are also door ones. Like for a balcony door, for example, when you have an exit to the balcony, and these are all made with hinges. These ones, of course, I'm looking at them right now. They look much more solid and impressive than the standard cheap mosquito screen. So with these ones on magnets, it's basically a full-fledged door. Victor, can you tell us about this system? What are its key advantages? And how is it different from the standard ones?
I'd like to point out that this system isn't just a single panel, or rather, a single screen like usual. On the market, it consists of a whole system, not just some separate magnets, but magnets running the entire height. The magnetic profile that holds the panel is inserted into the corresponding groove of the frame. It's not just glued on, so when it gets hot or anything like that, it won't come unstuck, even if.
To provide a more comprehensive understanding, it is important to note that the specific dimension being referred to here is precisely 3 meters. This measurement indicates a considerable length or distance, which could be relevant in various contexts, such as architectural planning, engineering specifications, or even in describing the physical attributes of an object or space. The exact nature of what measures 3 meters would depend on the specific subject being discussed, but this precise figure provides a clear and quantifiable reference point for its size or extent. You could even have a door that big.
Up to 3 meters. Importantly, our systems, including this, are no exception. It can be double leaf for a French door. There won't be gap between the panels. It's covered by the frame profile. The frame is shaped like the letter U.
Also, on a double leaf door, like in the center where the two panels meet, you can additionally install a closer at the front and back. So, for example, if your hands are full, you can just nudge it with your foot as you walk through, and it will close itself thanks to the door closer. And here, the hinges come with a built-in closer.
One of the hinges has a door closer.
Honestly, I'll tell you, when I hadn't seen them yet and only saw the price, I thought, why is it so expensive? But once I saw and touched it, you understand what you're paying for. Because this isn't just a Mosquito screen. It's like a full-fledged door, even made of aluminum with such a thick profile.
It's solid, making it stable.
The hinges are just incredibly sturdy. I feel like it could easily last 20 years. Nothing will happen to it at all.
We offer a 2-year warranty on our constructions, but they'll last at least 20 years in use. We see that they last, and we've seen these constructions on installations done by us. Orders are delivered with window companies importing windows from abroad, using our crossbars and Genius systems. We mostly replace only brush seals. For example, brush seals on ends and bottom profile cover unevenness, up to a centimeter, leveling out 4 irregularities. Maybe something will happen to it, and it might need to be replaced, but otherwise everything works perfectly.
That's how it is, guys. Next up, we have roll-up Mosquito screen systems, which can be lowered, folded, and so on. They're not static. These are the really straight ones, and we'll often show them to you.
So to speak, the main roll-up Mosquito screen system we sell and use is a model called System 43. Dam control we see outside. It's a rounded, cylindrical box with a bottom bar you lower and fix in place. The anti-pollen mesh is used. This mesh traps pollen. Recommended for allergy sufferers, so they don't worry. It blocks tiny gnats and fine plant pollen. This protects the air, letting through what's necessary. For allergy sufferers, the screen is raised by turning the bar, and it's equipped with a cord. Why? Because the structure can be up to 260 centimeters high. This small cassette can hold a height of 260 centimeters.
But does that mean the cord is always hanging down?
Yes, sometimes the cord is hanging. At the start of installation, how convenient. Because at the installation height is large, it's inconvenient for the user to reach. He lets it go, grabs it with his hand, and lets it down lower. If he doesn't want it there, just turn a flathead screwdriver 90 degrees and the curtain comes out. It's simple. We store it. For example, in winter, we might not use it, so it doesn't flap or bang.
Right.
Got it. But if you use it actively during the season and need it, it stays.
Basically, people who install a roll-up Mosquito system need to understand that there will be a cord. Either you install automation, or you use a cord if it's high up and you need to reach it.
Yes, that's right.
Basically, you can lift the window and somehow secure the cord to the side. Yes,
Make sash. Install cord in center edge. You need to pull the force vector knot from the edge, not here closer to the center, but straight vertically. It will go down. Why is this topic becoming popular now? Artem, remember the story from 5 years ago? The demo of bonded glass units, now widely used in glazing. They allow sash widths in aluminum and sometimes plastic glazing of 1.2 to 1.5 meters. Why? How do window companies position this? Guys, you don't need a standard double sash window anymore. You can now put a single sash 1.5 by 1.5 meters in your kitchen. You'll get the maximum clear view and comfort. But what do these same window companies offer as a standard solution for insect protection? For such a window, a regular frame, and sometimes not just one along the edge, but they even make a crossbar like this. So it's like with the glazing, you wait for maximum transparency and view, but then for insect protection, the solution you offer.
I can just imagine. When you have such a big window, the mosquito net is also one solid piece, and it's actually hard to install at all. And what else can you do?
The solution is a roller screen, like
Maximum size for the wood.
for our high-quality roller screens. The standard dimension is typically 3 meters in width and 2.6 meters in height. However, I must admit that a 3-meter width isn't always the most convenient or practical size for every installation scenario. Therefore, the supporting bar, which is an integral component of the system, is designed to be quite flexible and adaptable, allowing for some adjustment and customization, as you can clearly observe. That it can be positioned in any plane, it's fixed in place. And we don't need, like with sun protection, say for a skylight, for it to be open like this, or like this. Because if it's not fully closed, mosquitoes will get through. So we need to keep it fixed.
What is this exactly? Tell us more about it.
You'll see the mosquito net fabric move smoothly, achieved by a standard spring mechanism and by a combination with a contour spring. Exclusive development by the Genius Group of companies. They sell this worldwide to manufacturers of mosquito nets and awnings. This is the break or stopper, break in English. Achieve smooth movement. If you don't install it, it'll work like this. Here, the system is lowered, and if we want to raise it, this jerky, very fast lift. How comfortable is that? I think it's very.
It's awful.
Because when else would you? If it's high up, people get scared, especially women like.
It can really startle her, specifically.
But with this, that won't happen, and it'll work for a long time. This day worries people, but it happens that you can. My fingers got stuck. It flies away, maybe a child opens it, and there are safety issues. So just the city, viewers.
Listen, of course, I like it better when it's smooth like this. This is
our standard. This time, we don't even consider that option. A long time ago, when we had just started working with the German manufacturer, while the Italian one was still being integrated.
You just unscrew the little bar a bit on the
second one, lower the turn. There are 3 distinct locks. If we want to effectively turn it, the entire configuration is already included in the overall cost of the initial construction. Why now, at this particular moment?
Do you only sell it with this?
Yes, other options are debatable, and with quick opening, they're not comfortable.
So, as I understand it, there's the 43. That's the roller system. And then there's the 67, which is more powerful and bigger. If we're talking about automation, when everything is motorized, then the 67 is.
Press resistant.
So if it's automatic opening and closing, then it's the 67 for outdoor use. and the 43. It can also be automatic, but only if it's from inside the building.
That's right.
The product is strategically located. I have successfully identified its precise position and confirmed its placement. Furthermore, we are very keen to prominently feature your exceptional product within our exclusive showroom, a space where discerning clients can experience its quality firsthand. Nuances, a highly reputable and experienced installer known for their meticulous work and attention to detail, has already completed the installation process with utmost professionalism. We anticipate that the product will be fully available and ready for viewing in our showroom very soon, allowing us to proudly showcase it to all our esteemed visitors and potential customers. We are truly excited to have this remarkable addition to our collection and believe it will be a significant asset.
Thanks to Victor for having such wonderful samples. This is actually a sample of a roll-up Mosquito screen system with a side shift. This is how it works.
On the outside, there's a folding handle so it doesn't get in the way when closing the window or door sash. At the bottom, there's a small guide rail that's 2 centimeters high. So, this is the perfect solution for balcony doors, classic balcony doors, whether single or double leaf. In other words, it is fairly wide application, but not for very large sizes. So, for standard balcony doors, it works well for active use up to a meter, up to 1.20 meters, but its maximum size is 1.70 meters. And still, we recommend making this particular model, well, up to about 1.20 meters. That's where it works most efficiently.
Listen, can you tell me, let's say I'm a customer, I have a door, and I want to install a Mosquito screen. Here on your sample, you have both a hinged door screen and a roll-up one. How do I decide which one is better? In what cases should each type be installed, right?
We look at the facade of the house. Sometimes, let's say, the facade is more of a classic style. In that case, hinged doors look really good. But sometimes the house itself, the building, is more modern in style. In that case, it's better to use, perhaps, roll-up screens.
So that they're hidden, right?
Yes, so that they're hidden and less noticeable. The thing is, if we don't equip this swing door model with a door closer, right, then in this case, it just tends to close on its own. But if there were no door closer, meaning we opened it and it stayed in that position, you'd have to kick it or push it with your hand to close it, right? So with the roll-up one, it rolls up, and whenever you don't need it, it's always rolled up and out of the way. But with this model, for example, if you need it to stay open, like for an active passage, a party, or whatever, when people are coming and going, and, let's say, in this case, swing doors are less convenient.
And what about the price?
This model is a little bit cheaper. The difference between them is probably about 10 to 15%.
Are you saying that the roll-up one is cheaper in this case than the door model?
Yes, our most affordable option is the roll-up system.
But in terms of the thickness of the profile, it loses out to the door model, right?
Yes, here the profile is flat, so we say that this is more suitable for balcony doors rather than HS portals or any serious, large glazing.
It's not exactly super rigid. I mean, it does have a bit of play, which is acceptable. And this is how it closes. Hey, what about the width of this profile when it's folded?
92 millimeters.
92, so you really need to make absolutely sure there's ample space for it outside, clearly visible.
If we're talking, for example, about classic glazing, where you have a frame, a sash, and part of the frame is visible from the outside, basically, it's set into the reveal. Usually you have about 4 centimeters, on average, 3 or 4 centimeters of frame, and then the overlap of the sash. Let's say, the overlap of the opening sash, right. And then, especially if it's a balcony door, the combination of profiles, that is, the distance from the edge of the frame to the start of the visible part of the glass unit, roughly matches that size. So, when it's closed, we hardly block any of the light opening in terms of the glass unit.
I guess these are in higher demand than the door types, right?
That's true. The majority of sales are actually for roller blinds. Why is that? Because stylistically, it's convenient to cover everything in one place with the same type of system. So, for example, if we've chosen a vertical shift solution for the window, for the door we can go with a side shift. In other words, we can solve several of these tasks at once. But sometimes, by the way, the side shift is also used for windows. For example, a window that's, say, 90 or 80 centimeters above the windowsill and higher. Sometimes there are sizes like 1.80 m, 2 meters. We've come across such cases. In these situations, we recommend using the side shift as well. Why is that? Because that little cord we saw is only 1 meter long by default. So if the window's top point is at 3 meters and we lower it by 1 meter, well, a child or a shorter person probably won't be able to reach that cord. There's also another reason why this option is better. Because if we look at the case with vertical shifting, we see that the possibility of the screen being blown out, so to speak, happens where the screen is open, that is, at the side guides.
Alright, guys, here we have a full-sized window. And here, a concealed mosquito system has installed a roll-up mosquito net that's actually hidden right inside the window recess.
We carefully open the window sash and then gently lower the integrated mosquito system into place. If you need to open it, it's fixed in place and can be raised. So here, you don't see a guide rail like we saw in the classic sample version. Here, we have the width of the window profile in whatever color the client, architect, or designer has chosen. There's a window recess, and inside that recess, the mosquito system is installed. So the guide rail is quite clever. It runs along the thickness, like a box size to create a single plane. And in this case, the mosquito system is installed as follows. A mounting profile is placed in front of the recess, and the window is shifted 5 centimeters further into the room. The installation goes deeper.
So this is basically the edge of the recess. Then comes the profile where the mosquito screen slides, and after that, the window. And this profile is 5 centimeters wide, running all around the window perimeter.
During window installation, we screw in a cable channel, which has a U-shaped cross-section. Right now, I'm basically removing the roller guide of the roll-up mosquito system.
And here it is, this profile.
This profile has a U-shaped cross-section. And during the finishing stage, where's the little profile?
Here it is, the cover.
Yes, the cover. When we're installing the window, after we've put in this profile, we cover it with this kind of cover. So basically, it's like an oversized plastic U-shaped channel, only in this case it's made of aluminum. When it's time to install the mosquito system in a particular window, the cable channel is removed and the mosquito system is inserted.
In fact, this U-shaped profile with the cover isn't that expensive, so when designing a house, you could just put it on all the windows.
On all the windows, yes. So this is a self-installation.
Which system is this? 43rd or 47th?
46th, there's that one too.
Another one, oh my gosh.
There are actually a lot of options. For the roller blinds, we picked two, one for built-in, one for vertical.
So this is the 46th?
Yes, it just has a square cross-section. We don't use it in the open form. It's kind of more basic, you know. Well, yeah.
But the 46th, is it also frost resistant if you add automation? I mean, can you equip the 46th with automation?
Yes, but again, if we're installing it outside, then no.
And for outside, only the 67th is frost resistant?
Yes.
So this one ends up being manual only. And then, well, this cable just hangs there.
Well, there's a cable, but again.
Cable side.
Yes, you can put it on the side, or sometimes they just throw it over, close it, and hook it over the loop.
Can it be side mounted with a side shift?
Yes, of course. There are two models that work with a side shift here. Rollout, 3 models actually, rollout, pleated, the one with the tracks.
So the rollout, you mean it fits into the same channel?
Of course. Let's bring a small rollout. So, we can use 3 types of door systems here. It fits tightly, so when you slide it out, the system doesn't fall out. So, thanks to this simple insert profile, the P-piece, which comes standard with the system, it fits tightly into this cable channel, and you don't need any extra fixing to be able to take it out for maintenance.
If we talk about price, for example, this system top shift and side shift, will there be a price difference?
Yes, about 50%.
The side shift is more expensive?
Yeah, it uses profile and casing. The most expensive part is the casing slats. If width is 0.8 and height 2.2, you have 2.2 meters of casing here, only 0.8 there.
The side shift is more expensive.
We also have this interesting mosquito net system called Ultima. It has this kind of profile, which, let's say, is designed more as an overlap from the window frame opening. What for? So that we can insert the mosquito net system from inside the room and not worry about it falling out onto the street. And at the same time, there's no need to drill into the window in any way. That is, how is the fixation of the mosquito system inside the light opening of the frame achieved? Due to the fact that on the one hand, in width, they are made like this, 2 movable plastic elements with stiffening ribs are inserted, and on the other hand, in width, there is a soft seal.
Yes.
I take a mosquito system and put it with this sealant down, for example, the version of the opening density, and at the top I simply close it. That's it, it's latched. Combined with a special pet screen mesh and, for example, this kind of design, when we install it as animal protection, any pet that might jump here won't fly out together with the screen like with a regular frame.
Listen, but what if I were to take a perfectly regular mosquito screen, specifically the one we initially discussed first with those cleverly hidden fasteners? Is there still a significant chance that with a truly strong impact?
A Maine Coon, for example, might jump on it a few times and so on. Here, there's a complete overlap.
Here, it's all around the perimeter.
It goes all around the perimeter. So basically, this overlap is a centimeter wider all the way around.
Well, right. In the standard system, we only have fastenings at the top and bottom. And if it's really tall, it might even flex and pop out if there's a strong impact. But here, it's just really secure.
Even if I wanted to, like, punch it with my fist, yeah, if I did that, it wouldn't come out.
So basically, I guess this is installed by people who have pets on high floors and need to make sure it's safe, so that...
People who worry, yeah, because on high floors it's usually really windy. You need to take out the mosquito screen, right? How do you remove a regular mosquito screen? You know, the frame type. If we're talking about regular frames, the ones with mounts on the outside, then we have to remove the frame like this. You pull it outward, lift it up so the mounts go down, and then lower it a bit. But let's just say, when you're leaning out on, say, the 20th floor, doing all that is pretty tricky. But inserting it from the inside, well, you just open it, basically, and pop it in. So it's right in the opening. It's just way easier, you know. Or for women with manicures, yeah, when they have to grab those handles and do all that stuff, but this way you just walk up, press it, and it sits right in the window opening. It's honestly just more convenient.
Yeah, I get it. But you can put this on aluminum too, right? Like on an aluminum window?
It works for all plastic windows, and for some types of aluminum windows, you just have to check which system, because there are different kinds of rubber seals. You need to make sure it fits, that you can actually insert it.
But this isn't really positioned as child safety, right? It's just for pets, basically.
Unfortunately, we don't have any child safety solutions for mosquito screen systems. There are other solutions on the market for that, like sash blockers and so on.
Alright, if the customer says, I want to add more crossbars here, say every 100 millimeters, then that would be an extra feature.
We can add crossbars, but we won't officially claim that it's for child safety, because someone might not secure it properly. How can you really keep track of that? For example, even if there's a nanny, she might say, I closed it. We'll say, you didn't close it all the way. So how do we deal with this situation? I mean, it's not like you just close it, lock it with some kind of lock, take the key, or something like that. So unfortunately, in this case, we can't guarantee anything, and that's why we never make such claims. Among ourselves, we can talk and understand that if we put a bunch of extra latches here, and parents keep an eye on whether their screen is closed, well. But on the other hand, kids play with all sorts of things, right? If, say, he lifts up that mosquito net.
And it falls down, yeah.
Pulls it, and it comes out, then who's going to be responsible for that?
Well, I agree. It's definitely better not to take any chances. Child safety should really be more about the hardware, like a child lock, a handle with a key, and so on. Right now, we're talking about other things. Victor, let us ask you a couple of questions. Could you please tell us about the company Genius, specifically in Italy, how it was founded and how you first got acquainted with it? Basically, how did it all start? The story of how it came to be, so to speak.
The story of how the company was established is that after graduating from university and starting my postgraduate studies, I still had the idea of earning some extra money. What should I do in life? And I decided to try to get into Windows as a dealer. That is, we would buy windows from one company and install them, reselling them. But still, there was always the idea of starting my own production, because when you're a dealer in the window business, you're actually dependent on the company you buy the windows from. You depend on their timelines, their quality, and so on. But I wanted to be responsible for something where I could actually influence the speed of work, the quality, and ultimately achieve an excellent result. And so the idea came up. We saw that, at that time, producing regular mosquito frames was quite profitable, yeah. And that's what we started with, but it was something that pretty much every window company offered. I started analyzing the market and found a German company that had a representative office in Russia, a company called Genius. At that time, we didn't know that this company was Genius. We were just buying their products, which, as it turned out, belonged to an Italian group of companies. These were roll-up mosquito screen systems, the simplest ones that are now in our product range, and one of the swing doors. And this went on from 99 to 2006, when the Germans said, "That's it, we won't have swing doors anymore." We were honestly a bit upset, because we had actually asked them to expand the product range so we could offer more solutions on the Russian market. But nevertheless, their response was, "Guys, maybe we should just buy you out." Go ahead, there was something else. No, the answer was a firm no. That's it, we're stopping production of this. We thought that surely there must be some solutions out there in the world, maybe even in Germany, and so on. So we started looking for a similar system and, by chance, stumbled upon some Italians who actually had these two models in their lineup. We told them, just like that company, place the order for us. So they sent it to us, although they kept clarifying things, which seemed like unnecessary details to me. I even told them the name of the company, the German one, and said, make it with the same configuration. Yeah, they sent it to me, but I didn't know that this configuration was actually a special one for the Russian market. But, for example, there were several other options for the German market, but the Italians, naturally, sent what was most in demand by that company, which, as it turned out, was also for the German market. And when we received the product, it turned out that one part, the mounting for the box lid, well, let's just say, it wasn't exactly a presentable solution for the Russian market. That is, in Europe this is used actively, but here, not at all. So we had to place an additional order and do some other things, and I realized that it would be better to actually fly to the factory and have a real conversation with them about what we're interested in. And after visiting the factory, we realized that the range of systems they offered was actually quite interesting for the Russian market. And that's how we started working directly with the Italians. It turned out that, well, it was a shot in the dark, but in fact, we hadn't chosen any other company yet, right? So we chose what we were already selling, what we already had experience with and had built up some expertise in, even if it was just over a short period, 6 or 7 years, but still. We wanted to continue this story. As it later turned out, the Genius Group of companies, Genius Group, is the largest company by turnover, the largest group of companies in Italy. We focused on more high-margin products. These are Genius mosquito systems, roller shutters, and sun protection in the form of roller blinds, electric curtain rods, and curtain rods. In the very beginning, we only worked in Moscow because we weren't considering any kind of large market, you know, or, say, a countrywide reach or range. And what did we actually end up with? We mainly worked in Moscow, but we made a website, one of the first stories about building a website. I made the first website myself, a couple of versions. At the start, there were 3 of us, me and 2 employees on assembly. And I had to take part in measurements myself as well. Sometimes we even stayed late and put together regular frames. I helped assemble a bit. Nowadays, more and more clients are choosing solutions for apartments because we're getting a lot of requests for glazing solutions, especially large format ones, like floor-to-ceiling windows. For example, a small glass or metal railing, and let's say, a purely decorative balcony, just so you can open the door and get more fresh air. And for these kinds of structures, there's a strong demand for large format mosquito screens, 2 meters, 230, 250, and so on. If we're talking about HS portals, for example, those big glass,
Lift and slide.
lift and slide accordion doors, we offer this kind of system. What? Because it doesn't have any bottom tracks. Here we have 22 millimeters. There's just a 3 millimeter plastic strip here, which can be attached at any height, and this allows us to use it in systems with what's called a zero threshold floor. That is, when the window system, the sliding window, the portal, and the mosquito screen are all flush with the floor. In this case, we don't have to maintain that pile strip situation like we do over there. Here, the pile is only used a little bit, just in the upper areas where it meets the pull profile. It's not thin, it's actually quite substantial. At the same time, the design gives us enough freedom to maintain it easily, whether it's with a karcher or something else.
As I understand it, with that 43rd system, if you walk on it a lot, it gets clogged and you have to clean it, right? But here, it's kind of.
But here, we just go over it, right, and that's it.
And what about the price? Is this one much more expensive?
Twice as expensive.
Twice as much? Well, of course, there's more profile here.
Here, there are Japanese components, and there are a lot more of them than in that Italian system. Here, the Japanese components are also from the Genius Group of companies, which represents this exclusively in Europe, and we have a sublicense.
And this one, in terms of size, can be a bit bigger, right?
Its assembly pack here is 115 millimeters in total, and even though it's bigger, it has a very interesting feature. You can open it, and it comes off quite easily. So, like this, it unfastens.
So you could, like, take it off for the winter, right?
Yes,
And put it back in the summer.
maybe in a more convenient spot.
Well, that's because, guys, the profile here is 125 millimeters, so it's going to be on the side no matter what, and in the summer we just accept it as it is, but for the winter we can take it off. But what I meant was, you know, this thing.
Look at that.
Careful. We should have put it on the floor. Okay, we'll fix it now. It's not hard. Did I break it?
No. Actually, there are situations like this too, when people take it out and go, what happened? We're showing live how everything.
Because it wasn't. It just bent like that. I just wanted to show that I play the accordion, but it didn't work out.
There is another feature that we haven't talked about. Is this possible?
Yes.
Now, if we put it, look here, we have a place for a hexagon.
Yes.
We can, at any moment, the client can take the hex key and put it in and either tighten the spring more or loosen it. That is, we can adjust the speed of the curtain's movement. With the 43rd model, you have to disassemble the whole system, but here the consumer, the client, can adjust the curtain themselves after some time. Maybe it seems too slow to them and they want it faster, or on the contrary, they want it much slower. So they can do all of this on their own.
The maximum dimensions.
With Japanese fabric, the width is 1 meter 80 and the height is 320. Unfortunately, when it comes to rolls of fabric, there simply isn't Japanese fabric wider than 1 meter 80. The Japanese don't produce fabric that's any wider. But at the same time,
Can they overlap each other like this?
yes, of course, any of our systems, single or double, so with the double, it's 360. But there are situations when there are high portals of some serious size, like 250, 240, you know, bigger sizes, right? So what do you do in that case? So in that case, we use not Japanese, but American fabric. We have what's called bit of view. In terms of transparency, it's about halfway between standard fiberglass and the Japanese one. And with it, you can roll out up to 260 in one direction. So we can cover 260 in width and 320 in height with a single panel. You have to understand, these 260, again, are hands.
Well, 320 still seems kind of small. Can we go bigger for?
Yes, we can go bigger. We looked at it together in the back.
Yeah, tall.
Here we can see, like, that the height is quite significant, right? And, well, at this height, it's 420, yeah? And it's static. Right now, there aren't any wind loads, right? So, like, the street, when there's no wind, well, it seems more or less okay. But you have to understand that, of course, when there's a strong wind, the wind load will be quite serious, and the fabric can bulge out and so on. So we're talking about some kind of forest areas, like a quiet sort of situation. So if it's a project of this kind, then yes, why not? And a slow, smooth shift that's already controlled by hand.
Well, if it's a really large opening, then it's only pleated systems, right, like when it's 5 or even 7 meters.
Yes, there are solutions in pleated systems, and the zip roller system will show that too. It's bigger, up to 14 meters, maybe even wider in a single opening.
Let's move on to the pleated ones.
Let's switch to the pleated systems.
Let's go to this side. Alright guys, now we've moved on to one of the most popular requests. This is plissé, pleated systems. Victor, could you please tell us, what does the word plissé actually mean? Why is it called that specifically? Someone.
Plissé comes from the shape of the fabric, right? So, we have several types of fabrics. There are roller ones for roller blinds, which are just flat, smooth fabrics. Plissé refers to the shape of the fabric itself, meaning it's like an accordion.
Can I hold it for a second?
Yes, of course.
Listen, does it come like this, or do you make the accordion shape from a flat piece of fabric?
We actually receive the fabric already pleated like this. So, it's done at the factory. That's how it is.
So as I understand, they somehow heat it up, right? And somehow.
They heat it, compress it, and then this crease, so to speak, stays, right? And you get this kind of line. They come in several sizes in terms of depth. In our systems, we use 2 size types.
So these are basically the same fabrics as in roller blinds, just pleated. Is it the same manufacturer?
So, if we're talking about the wide fabric, it's 2 centimeters wide, and the manufacturer is Japan, right? It's the same fabric. It's just Polyview, but pleated. And in the other 2 systems, where the fold is 10 millimeters, the manufacturer is from the Netherlands.
Alright guys, now for the most interesting part, zip systems. This is the top of the line product that Genius offers. Victor, can you tell us what types there are, the largest openings you've covered, and generally where all of this is used?
The zip systems we offer at Genius can be up to 14 meters wide and up to 5 meters high. However, the guaranteed operational area for the system is about 30 square meters. So, for example, that's roughly 14 by 220, or, say, 6 meters wide by 5 meters high, or 10 by 3. These systems, zip is a technology where a special zipper is glued along the height on the edges of the product to prevent the fabric from being blown out by gusts of wind.
You had a sample here, right? Oh, here it is. So this is the side profile, right?
Yes, that's the guide rail.
And inside it, there's this kind of plastic part inserted.
It's movable.
And this profile, does the mosquito net also get inserted into it?
No, here's the mosquito fabric. The zipper is welded onto it.
Ah, a special one, right?
Yes, it's a special one. When we install it, it goes in from the top just once, and it never comes out. It winds up onto the shaft at the top like this.
And this thing, it allows it to withstand heavy wind loads, as I understand it, right?
Now they'll try to tear the canvas out horizontally. Now horizontally, the profile is trying to jump out, right? That is, I am holding it.
Yes.
And I can't seem to pull it out.
As I understand it, this little bit of play isn't accidental. It's actually there to absorb these impacts.
Wind gusts and strong wind blasts. The thing is, if we make it tight, so to speak, like, well, perfectly even, we won't be able to monitor how the system works during the summer and winter seasons because the materials expand and contract, plus the wind itself needs to pass through so it doesn't put pressure on it. In other words, to ensure greater wind resistance, I'll say it again.
Yeah, if you pull it too tight, it'll just tear.
It just blows out a 30 square meter sail. That's actually a pretty serious thing because even small light aircraft have a smaller wing area than that.
Yeah. So, these systems are always lowered from above.
Yes, they only move vertically, meaning from top to bottom. The maximum size that we implemented, installed by our company, was 935 and 45 in height with one sheet. We produced the maximum size in width 1280 in Russia with a height of 3 meters.
Yes.
And theoretically, it is possible to make a system up to 14 meters high.
It's just out of this world. But as I understand it, this works really well where there's a gazebo with large openings, and you just lower it down.
Or large HS portals, electric ones.
Those lift and slide things.
The electric ones especially, they cost quite a bit of money.
Well, and theoretically you can hide all of that in the finishing if you plan it in advance.
That's exactly what we do. We work very closely with architects, designers, and window company engineers because all of this can be integrated in such a way that, by removing facade elements, you can access the boxes, but at the same time everything is hidden within the finishing, within the building's facade, so it all looks really cool, but you can still service it, so it can, so to speak, come out of nowhere. So this is really relevant for this kind of project, because...
What are the options for lowering? Manual, automatic?
For up to 7 square meters, you have the option of electric or manual lowering. Manual lowering is done with, well, let's say, a control stick, which is called a crank handle. It is inserted into the box, and by rotating it around its axis, we either raise or lower the mosquito system.
7 square meters is...
That's, well, 3 by 2.5.
That's really small. Yeah, very small. Is there really any point in installing a zip system for such a small opening? I don't get it.
There are situations, for example, and you probably see this a lot, like when you have a gazebo all the way around, or, say, pool areas. There's a main walkway in the pool zone, and then there are large spans where, say, an HS portal opens up for 5, 6, or even 8 meters. But then there's a small area with a single leaf HS portal, where you just need to pass through quickly, where people are constantly walking back and forth. And then up to 7 square meters they install, well, let's say, either manual, well, they want, yes, as it were, well, and for the rest they install electrics.
Yes.
They rarely lift it, but it's manual, like for walking. But we also have a solution for up to 7 square meters. These are the so-called fast lift motors. This is a model of engines from the Luro company, also presented by German. So we work more with the company Zomphy, but Luro also allows you to lower and raise the mosquito system. A 3 meter high one will lower in 8 seconds.
Yes.
No Zomphy engine will lower it that quickly. This system will lower in about 30 to 40 seconds to a height of, say, 230.
No, you see, I just didn't get the point. If it's 7 square meters, isn't it easier to just put in some kind of rollout or plissé, or the 67th roller? I mean, what's the point?
Where you specifically need the zip system, that's where people install it. So, there's this thing where someone just wants to install it.
Are the fabrics for the zip system special, or are they the same as usual?
Yeah, it's not recommended to use standard fiberglass fabric because it's less durable. We use fabrics starting from regular mesh and up. Well, in our lineup, we have fabrics that are stronger in terms of durability.
But they are more expensive, respectively, right?
Well, a little. There is not such a big markup, so to speak. Well, but it is very important in these canvases that the moments of wind loads, that is, torn loads, which
Yes.
occur during operation so that they can be compensated. We use regular canvases. We do not use standard canvases. You can't use polyview here because it can't be welded. The width is 1.80 m, so scenes are made when the width is small, but it can't be welded. So only other canvases are used here, which we also have in our assortment. Here we have.
As far as I saw, you can even, instead of the canvas here, make this, how do you call it? Soft, not sun protection, but soft glass or something like that, right?
We don't use that term. We say that there is a transparent canvas. Here we call it crystal, right? Because
So where's this?
some kind of incomprehensible story about whether this is a window or not a window.
As I understand it, this is for gazebos, where you don't need protection from mosquitoes, but rather from wind, rain, and everything else. So, you can install those zips that just go VRR lower down, and that's it. There are those soft windows, you know, the ones that hang on rings, kind of like curtains. That's a cheap system. But here, it's like, you know, automatic. If it starts raining or the wind picks up, you just press a button, it comes down, and it's comfortable inside. Pretty cool thing.
The only thing is, in terms of operation, it works down to -5 degrees. It's already been tested. That is, if it is not colder than -5, it rises, falls. If it is colder, it must be in one position, either lowered or raised, because it becomes stiff.
Yes.
In the cold, this is exactly the canvas. If it is colder than -5, it cannot be used. Well, I mean, if you try, for example, to lower it from the top position, it won't go, it'll just switch inside itself.
Yeah, I got it. And you're saying it can also be used as sun protection?
For sun protection, we have blackout solutions and various types of screens in our range. So, that's for when you need to cover large openings.
Blackout means it gets completely dark, right?
Completely dark, because this side zip doesn't let any light through, so you get not just some kind of blackout with light leaks around the edges, like you do with regular roller blinds and open guides. Even if they have a brush strip, you might still get a little bit of light seeping in. In this case, it's going to be a total blackout.
So look, let's say the client's room is a home theater, a private house. They have two options. They can install blackout curtains inside, or they can put a zip system with blackout on the outside. So, which way should they lean?
It happens, sometimes people do put blackout on the inside. And we have encountered such projects. We will provide material on how to make different mock-ups. For example, the width there, let's say, is about 2 meters. The height is 350, 380, 4 meters.
Yes.
If we install a regular roller blind with U-shaped guides without a zip, what will happen? There will be a little situation where, if someone opens the interior door to this room, especially if they open it energetically, the fabric will come out of the guides, because the area is so large. The airflow will do that, and the fabric will pop out, yes. So, how good is that?
The one that's inside?
Yes, the one you install inside, if it doesn't have a zip.
Yes.
How good is that? For roller blinds, it's not very good. A crease on a mosquito net, a crease, well, it's flexible, so it's not a problem. But a crease here on an interior roller blind will more often leave a mark, a permanent crease. And that's an interior issue that the client probably won't like. Here, we're looking at it against the light, so a crease doesn't really matter to us at all.
You know, I just thought of something else. Because when it comes to panoramic windows, people don't really like classic curtains. You know, they just don't fit the design. So if you need, in some rooms, even in the bedroom or the home theater, to block out the sun, instead of putting out those drapes or curtains, you just go outside, press a button, and boom, everything closes up. You can go to sleep, block out the sun, whatever you need.
Moreover, it's going to be a quieter setup because the motor is located outside, right? So, when you lower it, there's less noise.
Yeah, that's true.
So, these are the kinds of things we use in design. Right now, we have a project in Glazing, and the structure is up to 6 meters, specifically blackout sun protection. That's the request.
So, I've got a remote here. As I understand, you use Salty automation, right?
Well, either Somfy or Elra. Elra is good because it's fast, but we use it for up to 7 square meters.
It's just a regular remote. Up, down. Let's try it now. Down. There it goes.
This is the standard opening speed of a zone loader. Ellera will be 5 times faster.
And she's either up or down. Can I stop her?
Yes, please. There is a central button A.
Ah, here in the center.
May, this is a thing that Zonthi has. It is a stop, and you can program some comfortable position, but if it were sun protection.
Yeah.
Let's say, for this level, it lowers and at sunset it's perfect for you, right? The sun doesn't get in your eyes.
The sun's shining, but air.
Well, yeah, there's light here, but in a mosquito system, it's not really relevant. But if we were using sun protection, we could use this May function. It's like, a comfortable position for you.
If there are several mosquito systems, you can set them up separately or all together.
Yeah.
If separately, then different remotes. If all at once, you can have several on one remote.
Yeah, that's it.
Systems, right, set up.
Yeah, you can put several structures on one channel. Yeah, and in the usual state, when we approach the fabric, we kind of show and check, like, I hit it with my fist, and it doesn't bulge out, right? If, say, we took a pleated system or a roller one, with strong pressure it would come out of the guide, but here you can clearly see that this doesn't happen.
Thank you for everything. Thanks for the consultation. That was just insanely cool. I had no idea there was so much to know about mosquito screen systems. Honestly, I think this will be useful for everyone. Guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, support us, and we'll keep making more awesome educational content for you. Alright, see you all. Subscribe to the channel. That's it. See you next time.